Hello, everyone. Good evening. You're welcome to this Chit Chat with Omotola. And I want to warmly welcome you all to this live broadcast. This is going to be a very interesting session. And I look forward to having an amazing time with you all. So if you're watching the replay, please just put hashtag replay in the comments. And if you're watching us live, please put where drop your location and let's know where you're watching us from. Thank you everyone for joining us. We are glad to have you on board. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're watching us from. Good to have you on board. Let's know where you're watching from, please. Drop a comment, say hi, say hello, let's know we are together on these Chit Chats. It's going to be a very interesting session. I can assure you of that. So we are waiting for you. I'm going to be bringing my guest in the next 1 minute. While we are waiting for our guest, please drop a comment for us in the comment section. Thank you. So today we are going to be discussing some real life issues. Most times we get carried away with life challenges that makes us forget some of the necessary things we need to talk about. So in today's live video, we are going to be doing justice to that. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. I'll bring in my guests and we can set the ball rolling. Live video and we can set the ball rolling. Live video. You're all welcome. Good afternoon, Oluwatosin Jamoga from Abuja. Good afternoon. Others who are watching us, we would love to know where you're watching us from. You're all welcome. Good afternoon, Oluwatosin Jamoga from Abuja. Others who are watching us, we would love to know where you're watching us from. So I am trying to share the live video. That is why it's taking time. We're going to be starting anytime soon. Good evening. I've not been seeing comments. Are we fighting? Are you fighting us? We are going to be starting now. But before we start, I'll read the bio of my guest. She is an amazing person. I'll read the bio of my guest and we will start right away. I'm trying to go live on other platforms. Yeah, I think we are good to go. Good to go. So thank you everyone for joining. If you're watching me and you can see and hear me, please put something in the comments. Good to have you. So today we are going to be having a guest, and the name of my guest is Omotola. Omotola is a counseling psychologist, mental and emotional wellness coach. Our journey into counseling psychology began as a result of spotting a need in individuals who needed a listening ear, a safe haven of trust, and help with a sense of fairness and encouragement. Omotola started out fully with her passion about 7 years ago after she was a victim of depression and trauma, which also included suicidal thoughts. Our healing process further ignited the passion to help others get through difficult challenges and tough situations using psychological techniques and therapy. Omotola is also an educationist. She believes that the future of the young generation begins in the present. She built exceptional strong relationship with teenagers, and self-esteem issues with sexual purity. Omotola has trained over 2,000 students across West Africa, across Western Nigeria, on different topics pertaining to mental and emotional health. She also runs several online classes for mental health wellness. She works with various NGOs such as African Resourceful Leadership Foundation. She has facilitated on Be a Learner project, a project in Lagos State owned schools. She also runs therapeutic sessions online and offline for individuals with many testimonials to her credit. Omotola Akinwale is a trained counselor. She's one of our team. She's one of the team members, one of the team lead of is a counseling unit. And join me with standing ovation and clapping ovation to welcome my guest, Omotola Akinwale. I hope you all are clapping wherever you are. Please clap for my guests. Good evening, Omotola. Good to have you. Say hi to people watching us from home.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, from wherever it is that you're watching us from. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Madam Minta, for this opportunity once again.
It's my pleasure to have you on board. Thank you for doing this together with me. So we are going to dive right into business, and believe me, this is going to be a very interesting and interactive session. So something happened before we initiated this chit chat, and that was when I posted a video on my WhatsApp status, and you responded to that video. So we are going to be picking up from that point. I'm going to be playing that video, and please, everyone watching, I want you to pay attention to that video. Every bit of what the person said in that video, I want you to pay attention to it, because that is our starting point for today's discussion. So we'll be right back. Enjoy this 30 seconds video.
Why is our angry side often addressed as our true colors? What about the time that we gave it our all? The times we loved harder than we should have? The times that we cared even when it was not reciprocated? All this love, and suddenly one small mistake, and then you turn around and be like, that's his true color. That's not my true color. You are the one that is a bad person. And the eyes of your understanding needs to be enlightened so that you can see the good in people much more than you see their faults and their mistakes. Because you see me, I'm a good person, and God is still working on me to be better. He will only let it change ways, man.
Now, I am going to explain briefly what the man was trying to say, just paraphrase, because I can see that the video is quite fast, because they want it to be just 30 seconds. So I'm going to be saying something about it, then play the video again. So what the man was literally saying is that, okay, excuse me. So what the man was literally saying is that, why is it that when people make mistake, just one mistake, you just name them a bad person, and you're like, oh, this is even your true color. Thank God that you're even showing me your true color. Like, just for one thing. Now, the truth, the concern, the area of concern for me personally as an individual is now that, when do we even know when people actually make mistakes and when it is their true color? Because he is saying, no, just one mistake should not, or making mistakes, let me not use the word one mistake, let me just say, making mistakes should not give you the impression that this is the true color of this person. It might just be a slip of tongue, it might just be anything that just happened that is even beyond the control of that person that made that thing to happen. So how do we, because it's a bit dicey, how do we differentiate between when something is actually a mistake and when it is the true color of someone? Because the truth of the matter is that some people can pretend for Africa. They can pretend for years, and just one day they will now show their mission. Because I've seen cases whereby people will just come into your life not because they like you, not because they are interested in you. It's just because of something Probably they just need an information about you. They want to dive into your personal life to know some key information about your life, and they just use that to blackmail you or to destroy you or to do all sort of evil to you. So we will not be able to say, okay, this is just a mistake, this is just a one-off thing. We should be able to analyze it and know when something is actually a mistake or true color. So I'm going to be playing that video once again, and after that, we'll dive straight into today's discussion. Let's take the video again, and please pay attention more this time around. Thank you.
Why is our angry side often addressed as our true colors? What about the time that we gave it our all? The times we loved harder than we should have? The times that we cared even when it was not reciprocated? All this love, and suddenly one small mistake, and then you turn around and be like, that's his true color. That's not my true color. You are the one that is a bad person. And the eyes of your understanding needs to be enlightened so that you can see the good in people much more than you see their faults and their mistakes. Because you see me, I'm a good person, and God is still working on me to be better. You will only let it change. Where is it, man?
So you're all welcome back. So we are diving straight into the business. Now, Omotola, you've watched the video obviously so many times, and that was what initiated this chit chat we're having today. So can you tell us, how can we differentiate between people's true color and when they make mistakes?
Okay, the true color in itself is embedded in every human being. And we also need to understand that the psychological part of human beings have the intentions and have expressions. So people can see what your intentions are except when they see your actions. And people cannot know what your intentions are until they hear your words. So that is the way we judge as human beings. It's just natural to just get to see something and feel like, oh, this is how it is. So the dicey point of where to know when it is true color or not is the point that comes with serious emotional intelligence and paying attention to certain things about people. So with the human mind, we have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind. The conscious
Okay.
mind is what you pre-plan, you know what to say, you know how to react, you know what to do in certain situations. You take in some certain information and you're sure that you definitely
This is
know
what I want to do.
what I am doing. But the subconscious state of the human mind, which most people actually relegate to the back, is actually much more powerful than the conscious one. So I could see you and
So okay, sorry, Mutala. As she's talking, I would love you to help us put those points, those cogent points in the comments. She said something. She said the subconscious mind that we humans relegate most times is actually
yes,
more powerful than even
yes,
our conscious mind. So please
yes.
help us put all those points in the comments so that people who are watching the replay will be able to have a glimpse of what we are talking about. So Omotola, please go ahead.
Okay, so the subconscious is much more powerful than the conscious mind. So in the subconscious mind, don't get to think before you do something. For instance, now a baby doesn't have to think too much before they start to suck on the mother's breast. It just comes. It just happens. So when people do actions that just happened at a moment, that they weren't really thinking, they weren't balanced, you get to say, okay, that is who they are, especially when it is bad. So, and in the subconscious stays the learning experiences, the experiences of the past, and all of that. It's been stored in there. So when someone reacts to a certain situation, and then you get to pick, okay, this is how you are. It could be a mistake, and it could actually be the true color. Now, the point where it is a mistake is when someone has been dealing with certain things over time. For instance, I will use the issue of betrayal for instance. Maybe someone has been betrayed again and again and again, and the person suddenly gets to start mistrust another person and just feels everybody is the same. And just
Everybody is
act
a liar.
yes, just act out that experience that they have. So it is deep down inside of them, And then the one that it is the true color is when there are certain indices that you've been seeing concerning this person. Like you said, some people can pretend for a long time, but then in pretense is also, like I said, the expressions. They are expressions of pretense usually, and the words consistency also. There are things one could pick out of what the individual has been doing or has been saying. So that's when you will know, oh, this person said this the last time. Do you really mean it or not? If it comes again, then there is a consistency with that pattern, and it has already at least shown you what kind of color the person has.
Okay, thank you very much, Omotala. Now, I am able to get something from what you have said, that people can behave based on their subconsciousness. And you said
Yes,
those things that store up in our subconsciousness most times are things that we don't even have an idea of. For
yes,
instance, you were betrayed years ago, you were molested as a child years ago, and because of that, even though you're forgiving that person, you are like, but your subconscious mind is still holding that thing, holding it
exactly.
somewhere, and it makes you very scared of men. You don't want to talk to men, you don't want to move closer to men. You think, oh, all men are bad, you want to just stay away from men. Now my question is, how can we protect ourselves from this subconsciousness? How can we truly heal? Is it possible that some of the problems we've gone through in the past, is it true that we can uproot it from our subconsciousness? Now, I want to use the case of healing. When something happens to someone, they will say, oh, you need to heal, you need to heal. Is healing also related to our subconsciousness? Can we also heal from our subconscious mind?
Yes, we certainly can heal from our subconscious mind. We can. It's just that you have to bring the conscious mind to a place of getting much more powerful than the subconscious. I would use the subconscious mind in this sense like something that has gained experience over time. It's like seed that has been sown in the soil and has germinated even without, maybe fertilization or anything, but it has grown. So now you have to come up with an effort that will actually bring that down, and it's going to take a process. So healing is a process, but most people don't actually understand that it's a process. They just feel like, oh, it should happen once and for all. Meanwhile, what you have
Once,
in your subconscious didn't happen once and for all. It took
once and
time.
for all. It took time.
Yes,
Yes,
it
I
took
agree with
time.
you.
It had time. So there's something in therapy that has to do with childhood trauma. So, for instance, someone was traumatized as a child and now is an adult. Is an adult. The time that it took from that childhood to this adulthood, you have to bridge the gap consciously. And it is that point you bring your conscious mind to the point that you are like, okay, this has happened. Let's take this out of the subconscious. But most people don't like to bring all of those memories out or all of those experiences out because, in actual fact, it's very, very painful. It is very, very painful. At the point where they have to start bringing it out, the memories, the experiences sort of make them feel that they cannot actually overcome this. So it takes the conscious to remind the subconscious that, oh, I'm in charge of my actions. I'm
Mm.
in charge of who I am. I'm in charge of my outcomes. So I am bringing you to actually
Out.
merge with this. Yes. So you have to. So if I was traumatized as a child, or if I was betrayed, I have to come to the realization that I also need social wealth. I need people. I cannot just stay on my own. So because of that, I have to bring all of these issues out and deal with them.
All right. Thank you very much, Omotola. And I totally agree with you that healing, number one, healing is an intentional process, is an intentional thing. That's the number one.
Yeah.
Healing is intentional. You must make up your mind that I want to heal. There's a problem.
Yes.
I think the first
Yes.
thing is even acceptance that there is a problem. Because a
Yes.
lot of times we live in denial in this part of the world. We live in denial. We don't accept that there is a problem. Because you for instance, now someone that lost a parent, a very dear parent, and a lot of things has been happening in the life of that person. Like probably the person has been behaving so the person has been behaving harshly towards other people. The person has not been stable, and that has happened for a few years. And I think at a point that person should be able to sit down and say, you know what, there's a problem. I need to trace this problem to the root. And by the time you're able to trace it to the fact that it was because you lost one of your dear parents, then you
Yeah.
should be able to accept that this is the problem and I need to find a way to deal with it. We should not live in denial that there is no problem. And we keep covering up, because just like you said, a lot of people are not born wicked. They are not born evil. They
Yeah.
are not born callous. It is situations of life that turn so many people into monsters. And when you discover that is where, when you discover that people are complaining about you, you are doing this, you're doing this, don't say, oh, this is who I am, I cannot change. No, you need to pay attention and look at it carefully, that where is this problem coming from? And once you're able to get the source of that problem, just like you said, you will now take more conscious effort, to overshadow that subconsciousness, to oppress it, to suppress it. And that is when your true color, your natural color can now be more evident than
Yes.
the bad part of you that people are saying. So I think the answer to the conclusion to that question is yes, some people can be some people's behavior can be their true color, and some people's behavior can be just a mistake. Where we are going to know is when that thing is repeating itself, we know it's a true color. And what can cause the repetition? The repetition can be as a result of what that person has gone through in life generally. Okay, thank you very much for that, Omotala. So let's move to the second question. Now we've talked about the person who is being seen as a bad person. Now let's talk about the other party. You just misbehaved to me. You just betrayed me. You just stabbed me at the back, and I am like, why should you do this? How did we come to this point where you're doing all this to me? So as the other party now, how can I safeguard myself from people who have issues like this, of whether it is true color or mistake? Okay, let's talk about true color now. People who that is actually their true color, I've been able to identify that this is this person's true color. So how do I safeguard myself from being hurt by that other person?
Okay, first thing first, I would like to say that as humans, we tend to believe the way we are is the way other people are. So, for instance, if you are the all accommodating person, you probably think everybody is like that. So you relate to them like that. And this is not supposed to be so. Protection actually starts from understanding that people will have two colors. People would have betrayal mindset. People would do things to you that will hurt you in the long run. So protecting yourself from them starts by understanding that humans have a sense of that true color inside of them. So when it comes, what you should do, one, is to think of forgiveness ahead. I'll use myself as an example.
Forgive
I
them ahead,
Yes,
even before they
as
commit the offense.
yes, even before an offense. So I think in my mind, like, okay, if somebody says something bad about me, do I want to sit all day dwelling on what the person said, or to use my time for something much more productive mentally? Knowing that I am sensitive to words, I would rather, face something that would give me positive energy back rather than dwelling on what somebody says. So if someone tells me today, Tola, you're such an ugly girl, I don't go thinking about it like, oh, she said I'm ugly. Am I very ugly? So I'm so ugly, and this person is my friend. And you've had it in your
Am
mind
I
all this.
actually ugly?
Yes. So instead of me thinking about that, I just bring myself. That's the power of the conscious mind now. Because as subtle as that can be, it can go stay in your subconscious mind, and it can even cause low self-esteem. So if
Yes, I
someone looks
agree
at
with you.
you and says,
I
I
agree
don't
with
like
you.
what you're wearing. Yes, I don't like what you're wearing. You're not just fine and this and that. I don't take it to heart. I took a conscious effort. It was deliberate to take words with a pinch of salt. Now, if you're now close to me, I can now take that word much more seriously. I can take it much more seriously. But I've protected myself ahead, knowing that I am not going to take what you say to me to heart. Another thing is that understand that people have temperament. They have the way they behave. Now, for instance, the sanguines, they just talk. They don't know whether it's paining you or it's hurting
Or
you or
not.
something. Yes. So when they do something, if a sanguine should do something to me, in fact, you're like the least person I would really even take serious.
Take
Because I feel
serious.
like this next minute you are forgotten. And they might even do something that really pain you. They might say something to you in a gathering and be like, why you dressed like this? You just look like a puppet or something. They said it, they've forgotten, but you are offended. So
You're
if
already
I understand,
holding it against them.
yes, you're already holding it against them. And they can even go and backbite you. And someone comes to tell you, and then they'll be like, me, when did I say that? They've forgotten. That is the way they are. So if you understand that people have their temperaments, people have the way they behave, sometimes it will help you just classify them and just be like, this one is not serious, or this one, she's not serious. If she's like that, then I know how to safeguard myself from them. So picking your actions will be based on consistencies. I've seen that you've acted like this once, you've acted like that again twice. What I need to do is to create boundaries for myself. You won't pass there anymore. And then if you get
Boundary.
to hurt me,
Boundary. Please
yes,
put in the comment section for us. So one of the ways you can safeguard yourself from people hurting you is creating or setting boundaries.
creating
Please go
boundaries,
ahead.
yes,
Yeah.
setting boundaries. So another thing is ensuring that you actually have it in mind that they are going to hurt you and you are going to forgive. Now, forgiveness, like I usually stress, is not for the other person, it's for you. Because I don't want to take out time being bitter, being angry, being mad. See what she said, see what she did. And, it's taking my time for what I should be doing productively. Why the other
Mm.
person has either moved on or is still holding it against me. So if you do something that hurts me so much, maybe I hear a news about me and then you said it and then you carried the rumor and all of that. As soon as I hear it, I take it in mind that okay, maybe you were ignorant. I tend to like give a reason. Let me put it that way to why you did that. Like if you knew better, you wouldn't do that. So if I can give myself, I just give myself that kind of okay, that's the benefit of that. That is why I should forgive you because you are ignorant. So it makes it easy for me because if I keep holding it, I'm not benefiting myself, I'm not benefiting others, and it's not like the person is even paying for the offense. It's not that by holding the person in my heart, the person is paying for the offense. And then three is to also understand that in the space of time reveals people's actions and character.
Mm.
If you're someone who listens to people,
Time rebuilds. Is it
yes,
rebuilds? Yeah, rebuilds
reveals,
people's action and
reveals,
character.
yes, and character. If you're someone who listens to people very well, they might try to tell you, "Oh, Tola, I think this person, I don't really think, this person is a good person, or she made a comment like this, sometime, and I feel that you should be careful." Most times when I talk about betrayals, that I have never been betrayed in that sense. People think, okay, so how did you do it? It wasn't like I was just superhero like that. No, I tend to like put my ears down and try to see how people behave when they are not with me. So it's not the way you behave with me. I'm looking at how you treat other people. It sort of gives me
Mm.
an idea of who you really
Who
are.
you are.
Yes, it gives me an idea of who you are. So if you're my friend, for instance, and you're so nice, also good to me, and then we'll go out on an outing, you shout at the waiter in the restaurant, almost beating them up. I look at you like you will do this to me one day, and I will tell you. I'll be like, this is the way you will actually
let,
we will
let
have
me
a fight.
let me cut you let me cut in a bit, Mutala. Sorry. There's
Okay,
this
ma.
thing that happened to me in December. I have this friend. She's my only friend in Nigeria. Okay, let me say she was my, but she's no longer my friend. That's the truth. Even though I've forgiven her, but she's no longer my friend. So she used to be my friend in Nigeria, and anytime I come around and we talk, we gist, she talked to me about other people.
Mm.
About mounting other people, saying, "Oh, this one, she's stingy. This one, she's that." I have always, there's something they call experience is the best teacher. At times, you'll just be hearing some quotes. It will not resonate with you until that thing happened to you and you have a personal experience.
Yeah.
I used to hear this quote of, "Don't tell me about them because you will tell them about me.
Me.
Do
Yeah.
not tell me about them because you will eventually go and tell them about me." So I have always known that quote, but it has never happened to me. So when she did my own for me, it was when I recollect. I said, "Oh, I should have shut the lady up.
Yeah.
All this while she used to come around, or I should have been more careful with her. All this while
Yeah.
that she always come around telling me bad things about other people. Oh, this one, the husband just sent her away. Oh, this one, she's stingy. She doesn't know how to give people money. Oh, this one." When she did my own for me, that was when I knew that at times you need to pay attention to how, just like what you
Yeah.
said, I'm trying to buttress what you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
how some people treat other people. And that is another thing that will help you to know whether that is that, so
Protect
that when they do
yourself.
your own for you, you will know that this one is not a
Yeah.
mistake. No, this is their true
Yeah.
color. Because
Yeah.
this person has been backbiting, has been backstabbing other people to me. So this is my turn. Then you will all know that this is their true color. This is not just a mistake. So
Yeah.
you need to pay attention to how people treat other people around you. You want to
Yeah.
marry someone, the person is already shouting on the waiter. You want to marry someone, the person is already stealing. Like maybe you went to the hotel together for anything, the person stole towel and put in his bag, the person stole blankets, all those petty things. You should know that
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem. This person
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
trustworthy. Anybody that steals
Yeah.
is not trustworthy. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to buttress your point on when you said that for us to be able to understand people around us, I think we should also pay attention to how they treat other people. How they
Other
treat other
people.
people. Okay, so please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's like one of the ways to actually protect yourself. And I'm glad you even mentioned in the area of relationships, because as women, we tend to be more emotional than logical. Somebody is doing
Hmm.
something and you feel, oh, it's not like that, or it's like that to everybody, but it's not like that to me. Oh, you are just living in denial of who the person really is. So
Ease. Hmm.
yes, we are just living in denial. I once had someone back in the uni. He was asking me out, and I was like, okay, just hold on a bit, because I was trying to, like, okay, just get to know him and all of that. And there was a day I was in the cab leaving school, and I saw him jetting at someone. Like, he was so angry, so furious, and I was like, jeez.
Hey.
And he was like a puppy around me, all calm, all nice. I was
Nice.
like,
It's just
oh,
it's just keeping your hold
no.
for you now.
I was even glad that he didn't see me. So it was the time I saw him in his own, awfulness. Like, wow, no way. There is no way even if you. And he's the kind of person that you even ask the question like, okay, if I get you angry, what will you do? I will just walk away. That day, I said this word, he will beat me now.
This one
Because
will not walk away.
yes, the way he's getting at someone,
Walk
it's just
away again.
uh,
All right, thank you very much, Mutola. This is getting more interesting. There was a part you talked about understanding people's temperaments, and I think that is very
yeah,
important. And that is one of our duties. That's one of the responsibility we hold ourselves as an individual in
yes,
our personal development journey. A lot of people don't even know their temperaments. Let alone the temperament of another person. So if you are still on this table, you don't know your temperament. You don't know the qualities of not qualities now, the characteristics of all of these temperaments: sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, melancholic. If you don't know, then you're on a long thing. Because it is when you know that this person is a sanguine. Oh, sanguine are always playful. We call them playful sanguine. These ones, But if a melancholy tell you something, melancholy people are thoughtful people, they are detailed people. If a melancholy tell you you're not well dressed, just know that you're not well dressed. Just take it, because before they can come to that conclusion, they would have processed this, they would have, chew it, process it so many times before they come to the conclusion that you are not actually dressing well.
Yes.
And if you have a choleric as a boss, there are things they would do. I once have a choleric as a boss, and choleric, they always want to be in charge. They are authoritative, they are dominant, and they are defensive. They don't want you to
And they
beat them
don't
down. They
care.
don't want, they don't want you to come and correct them and say they are wrong, even though they know they are wrong. They want to pull out all kind of defense just to let you know that they are not wrong. They are the one in charge. They are the boss. They are the leader. So if you have a kind of boss like that, oh, this one is always trying to be, defensive, trying to protect his or her ego, then you know that there's a way you relate to them. Probably you won't be pointing out their mistakes too often, so that they won't feel less than human, and they won't feel bad that, oh, this person said I made a mistake. So that boss of mine, anytime she makes a mistake, and I go and meet her that, oh, please, ma, I just discovered that this place, instead of 2, you put 3. She just like, 3, it's 3, so what? She will never want to acknowledge that is a mistake. If it's a phlegmatic person, the phlegmatic person will just say, okay, it's okay, just go and correct it. But the person will say, okay, 3, change it. So when it's 3, so why are you now shouting? Right? So they don't want to be corrected. They want to be seen as the boss every time. So please, everyone watching us, it's very important for you to understand temperament, not just for you, for other people, so that you will be able to know, how to deal with them and how to relate with them. Okay, thank you very much for that, Omotola. So the next thing I want to ask, when we were discussing, I told you about my friend, and I told you that my ex-friend, that she is no longer my friend. Now, I want you to help us draw a line between forgiving people and living a toxic relationship. Because a lot of people believe that, oh, if this person is bad, let me just leave this person. Most of the time, we don't forgive. We don't, oh, just go. I don't just want to have anything with you. It's actually very difficult for me to forgive that, my friend, to come to the place of forgiveness. Just like he said, that when you're forgiving other people, you're not doing them a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. You are trying to pull the load off your mind. You're trying to pull the weight off your mind and be a free person. Be a free person. So I want you to help us. What is the relationship between living a toxic relationship and forgiveness? Or you will not, or you as a person will not encourage us to live toxic relationship. What is your stance around toxicity and forgiveness? I just want to know.
Okay, my friend was that balanced view about that. Living a toxic relationship and then forgiveness. Now, I need people to actually understand that love is also tough, in the sense that because you love somebody, sometimes it is best you put them in the box they are supposed to be. I will explain that using an analogy. A child, a little baby, I can't, if I have a little baby now, I can't say because I love that baby as a child, I give the child chicken to eat, a 3 months old baby. Now, chicken is good actually, and I love you for the depth of my heart. But I wouldn't be giving you chicken to feed on, or solid food to feed on. I will only feed you what you need part time for that moment. Now, when people have shown you who they are, it is best you actually treat them the way they have shown you they are. Forgiveness is taking the load off you, but it doesn't mean you still permit such reactions or such actions around you, depending on how they have shown themselves, or depending on whatever it is
The
that they were
gravity, the gravity of what happened.
case
For
of your
instance, if
friend.
it's not a threat to your life, you can
If
still.
it's a threat to your life, you will actually, there are things that are not threat to your life, but threat to your mental health. If it's a threat to
Hmm.
your life, definitely leave that person, or you will definitely leave that relationship. Now, what people don't understand is, I'm going to use an example, and I would say how I managed it because it was practical for me. I had this roommate who was very envious. I don't know whatever it is that I did to her. I don't know. I just know she would act up somehow. She would treat me somehow, and I was wondering what happened.
This is the
I like
problem.
yes, I like to cook, and I like to cook. I don't like to eat out, so I'll just cook. Go out. And one day I found out that I came back to the room. My pot was, it was disorganized. So I just felt like what happened in the room, and I didn't know. So I just felt not to like eat that food for no reason, not like I was suspecting her or something, but I just felt not to eat the food. And then in a minute, I found out that she had broken my phone screen. She was trying to check my messages and stuff. And naturally, I don't like to confront people. I had to stay back, like, the way this girl is behaving, and I'm with her in the room, and my food is not protected. She can think of something one day, and then
Yeah, I agree with you.
yes,
It's
and
the
it
same basis
happened.
of that.
Yes. So what I did to her was, okay, you know what, Auntie, thank you very much for staying with me. I accommodate you, I love you, but you have to leave. It was a tough decision, but she has shown me her true color. And I couldn't bear to stay with that true color, knowing that even if she didn't have it in mind, if she didn't deal with it at some point, it will probably happen or something.
Let
So
me cut.
when
Let me cut in. Okay, please finish your statement. I would love to say something.
okay, so when we get to a point where we need to forgive, the action, weigh the action, go back to what really happened. Okay, I've forgiven you. It could be an ex or something. I've forgiven you, but then I can't continue to put myself in this kind of mental position, or I cannot put myself in harm's way. So I need to understand that love is also staying from afar to even watch you grow. I could even say, okay, you see this thing that you did, you need to actually watch it. You need to kill this attitude, and it could be afar off. So sometimes you could have friends with certain issues. Like this minute they are fine, this next minute they are angry. When they're angry, they can break anything, do anything. They took
Muslim.
your phone the first time, broke it. Second time, broke it.
Ha.
The next
Hey,
time,
hey. One day they will
next
just
time.
kill you.
Even if they don't kill you, the cost of breaking your phones, breaking your property again and again. The next time, just tell them, you know what, I love you, but this thing, I think you need to see a therapist. There's an issue. So that is also loving them from afar.
Hmm.
It's the point of forgiveness, because if not, you're not doing it. Your mind or you yourself, you don't have capability to take the consistent actions that they will be bringing. You don't have it. So it's just best you just, lay them aside. You can love them from afar, and you can also forgive, then give the person a benefit of doubt. There's a side for that.
Doubts,
You give,
and
you
let
give the
them prove
person a
themselves
yes,
again.
let them grow, let them, you know um change some certain attitude, let them realize. Like I said, some of them might not even know. There are people that I've met that, that they're like very hungry, very bitter at people, and when you get to tell them that, do you know you are like this, they're like, do you know I don't even know, do you know I even love people? Because in psychology it's like those who get angry a lot, there's a part of them that needs
Love
love
more.
deep down
Hmm.
inside.
That is
Sometimes
crying, that is yearning for love, and they cannot
yearning
get
for
it, so
love.
they just turn it to
Yes,
hunger. Hmm.
yes. So, and
That's
so
deep.
while they are learning to rewire their brain to loving, you can just, give the gap, then bridge it little by little.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, at that point where I wanted to cut in was when you were giving an example of this, your roommates, your former roommates. I have a case like that too. Because most times I like when we talk practical so that it won't look like we are talking theory and everything is just vague. So I have this friend here in Cote d'Ivoire. She has a flatmate. She's single. She has a here they don't really have 1 bedroom apartment like that. The least they normally have is 2 bedroom apartment, or you get a face me, I face you, I slap you, and our class does not befit that. So most of the time, even as singles, you get people who get 2 bedroom apartments and that. So she just felt, oh, only me in this apartment. Let me get someone. Let me get a flatmate so that we can be talking to each other. And she got this lady. I don't know when she got the lady. She just introduced that to me one day. Okay, this is my new flatmate, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, no problem. So I usually go to her house once in a while to go and play and say hi and do video. At times we do video. So she kept complaining about this lady. And because I know a bit about that lady too, somehow, I know a bit about her from another source. And she kept complaining, this lady did this, she did that. But from the complaints, I was seeing threats to life. But the complainant wasn't seeing that because she's a phlegmatic. Phlegmatic people now, they are very peaceful. They don't like problem. They don't like any trouble. They don't just want to be, and they accommodate, they endure, they accommodate people, Me, I'm not like that. Me, I'm choleric / sanguine. But when she started complaining about this lady, I kept telling her, are you sure you want to continue living with this lady? She said, no, she will change. It's just like that. But I was seeing more than that. And I said, this lady. There was a particular day she's supposed to come to church because we attend the same church together. And I didn't see her in church that day. So I started calling the second day to just check on her. I was calling. She wasn't picking. I think she went for a meeting. So I called like 5, 6 times. I was already anxious, like agitated that what's happening? This lady's not picking. She didn't come to church yesterday. And eventually she picked the call and she said, oh, that means you've called me. I said, do you ever wonder why I was calling repeatedly? She said, why? I said, because that lady you live with, I don't trust her. She was like, you started though. What is it? And I said, I'm serious. I don't trust that lady. She actually thought I was joking. So one day she thought I was joking and exaggerating. So one day I went to her house. And while we were going, she was already gisting me about what happened between them for days. For weeks, she has been greeting the lady and she will not answer. For weeks, she has been talking to her, talking to someone like, good afternoon. I think this fridge, we should move it. And that person did not even answer. That person just walked away. For like 2 weeks, that has been happening. And, they were just like there, like that. So when I got there, I just got in. I went to that lady's room. I don't have any business with that other person. So I just went to her room. I was just changing my clothes, trying to get settled because it was evening. I went there for a vigil. And I was just hearing my name. Dami. Here they call me Dami because Damilala is my middle name. Dami. I was initially I didn't want to answer them because I knew they were fighting. But in my mind, I said, Jibra, I've told you to send this lady away. You don't say that. Be dealing with it. But she kept calling my name. Dami. She was calling. So I have to run out from the room. Like when I got there, let me just tell you, I didn't mean I was not there that day. That other lady will beat this other lady. She will beat her blue black. She will not just beat her. She will hammer. She will injure her. So when I got to the scene, I was like, she was all over her. So that was why that other one was shouting, calling me to come and rescue her. This is not funny. This is actually not funny. So when I got there, I was like, are you kidding me? You have a quarrel with your roommate, with your flatmate, and the next thing is you want to beat her? And I was like, okay, beat her, let us see. I was so angry in my spirit that, what the hell? And I was telling that other lady right there, I said, I've told you to send this monster away. I've told you she's going to beat you one day, she's going to injure you, she's going to kill you one day. And this is it. Because she was actually holding a stick or something. At that point, this other lady said, you know what? I have had it up to here. You need to leave my apartment. This is not going to work again. I am done. Because at that point, it wasn't like Dami is telling you something nice. It was something that is so glaring to everybody that this one, she will kill you one day. She's going to kill you one day. And she told her she should leave and all that. Do you even know, even after a month, this my friend still said, okay, let me just leave her. It was this other lady that now said she's not living with her again, that she now find that other person still, that my friend still wants to. And I was just like, so when she came back to tell me that, oh, this person said she's going finally. I said, so what's the problem? Still there? I was thinking she will not go. I said, hey? So are you serious that you still want this lady to be living in your house? You know, it was so weird. It was so hard for me. So just like you said, there are some relationships that are not just toxic to your well-being, to your physical well-being. They are also toxic to your mental well-being. Yeah. You can love them from afar. Thank God today they are friends, even though that other one doesn't want to be. Because I stood in for her that day. I wanted to beat her. So she couldn't forgive me. I heaped words on her that day. I wanted to beat her. Like, okay, come and beat her. Let us see. These two of us today, we are going to kill you here. You know? I was just trying to scare her because it looks so horrible to me that why will you have an argument with your flatmate and the next thing is you want to beat her up? What the hell is that? So eventually she's not been talking to me. I don't even have any business with her. It's only maybe once in a while when I see her on the road. But this other lady, they are still friends. So I'm just trying to buttress what you're saying. They are still friends from afar because there was a time she was having a birthday. The other one came over, you know. You can love people from afar. You can care for people from afar. Do not bring them into your circle. Don't allow them to destroy you physically or emotionally. Give them a calm. Give them a space. Let them be at arm's length. Be friends from afar. Love them from afar. You know, be kind to them from afar, but do not allow them into your circle in such a way that they now become a threat to you physically and to your emotional well-being. I think we've actually done justice to all of this. We've actually talked about everything here, all of the questions I have here, one way or the other, except this one, and that's the last one we are going to be taking before we call it a day. We just have 8 minutes more to wrap up the show. So this last question says that how can you resolve conflicts depending on your conflict style?
Okay. Your conflict style. I will mix it with temperament. And if there's anyone who doesn't know their temperament or how they behave, why they act the way they do, they could actually reach me through the comments. But I would try and explain a bit of it. The sanguine is the happy-go-lucky, playful, smiley, you know, everywhere, the life of the party. The choleric is the boss, I want to show off, I want to lead, I want to be here, I have the ego, I have this, I have that. The melancholy is the calm one, thoughtful one, looking at you, that this thing you are doing, keep looking at you. Pragmatic is life is simple, they don't have worries, they don't have grudges, they don't hold anybody to the heart. It's just natural for them. Now, you need to understand that if somebody is a sanguine, they can cause trouble, but they don't like trouble in return.
They
don't like trouble in return. When you give a sanguine a dose of what they gave you, they are already chickened out. They feel like, what? I just said you are not fine, and then you now abuse me.
I got that point.
So
some people are like that they are not really like they portray themselves. If they bring the and you do for them, they will just run away.
Yes.
So they are sanguine. Okay.
I can do my thing. Like, yeah, you face me, I face you. There's nothing that there's nothing that will go down for it. I'm not going down for you. If you're not going down for me, that's just it. They will face you to the core. The melancholy can give you a very long spoon. That's like the temperament I fear most for conflict. They will not talk. For years you will be offending them. They won't say anything. But when they will give you, You would
Ah,
actually say that.
you know they
Yes,
are detailed people now. They will
yes,
be helping you store the thing. They will be storing it for
yes,
you. The
yes.
day the cup will
Precisely.
overflow like this. Ah,
They will give it back, running over.
that's when
Now
you will
the
now ask that.
flag,
Is it this matter or not? Like, is it this
another one.
small thing?
Yes, yes. Is it just this thing? And you know, the person is like, no, you've been doing it for how
Oh,
long?
long time ago.
Yes, time. So now the phlegmatic is okay, let me give you benefit of doubt. You know, even when they get angry now they are forgotten. They're like, okay, let's go back to
Hmm.
how things used to be.
Where we
They've got
started from.
there. So the phlegmatic is like the accommodating person. The sorry, the phlegmatic is like the avoiding. I don't want wahala. You know,
Let
let's
us
just,
just be going.
yes. Okay, you said you don't like this. Don't worry. You don't, me and you should still be pals. They want to, it's not the goal, that it's not the result that is in their mind. It's personal relationship. Like, now, don't do is it because, so you're fighting me because of food. Because of food though.
Oh, that one. Oh, me, I
Yes. So it's
forgotten.
still, yeah, so they are like that. Why the choleric is competing? You bring it, I give it back to you. It's, 50-50, no cheating. They don't want to step down. They don't want to drop. No, it's you give it back. You give it to me, I give it to you. Simple. Now the melancholy could be accommodating. Let me put it that way. The goal is more important. Like, I'm your friend. So don't let me spoil this friendship. Let me just be looking at you with what you are doing. Don't worry. When you do it to a particular point that I have to respect that, I will
Then I
give
will
it to
give
you.
it to you.
I will give it to you back. The sanguine is the collaborating one. And that we fight now doesn't mean that we should not go for party together now. So me and you had a misunderstanding. So
Mm,
why can't we go for parties? So when you
mm.
actually understand that this is my temperament. Okay, for instance, now I am a choleric male. You could do something to me for years. I may not talk, but the day I will talk back to you, you'll be like, "So you noticed?" Yes, I noticed. I just didn't talk, and I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like the action was more important than our relationship. So I will take our relationship much more serious than the action you did. So that's why I won't talk. So, but for a phlegmatic, they want to avoid all issues. They don't want it. So if I have a fight now with a sanguine has forgotten what they did to me.
They
So if
don't
I
even know
remember,
they did anything in the
they
first
don't
place. They
know.
don't even know.
They don't even know. So a sanguine can be like, Tola, and you kept this in your mind. Is that why you didn't come for my birthday? Is that why, I called for Ashaibi, you did not buy? Is that she's thinking of a whole lot of things? And then she's like, oh, yeah, sorry, sorry, sorry now, sorry. It doesn't mean that another day you will call them for something, they will not come. They can cause trouble, but they don't want it back in return. So when you put people in that category, sometimes you bring their conflict style to them. I want to quickly touch on the video you asked me to watch about the two celebrities that had a clash.
Okay,
And
okay. Tiwa
yes,
Savage and
yes,
Shay
you
Shay.
know,
Okay.
yes, Seisha was like, I just felt like a lot of people were looking at us like there is beef and all of that. I presume she's this kind of person, like, okay, just for the goal, let's just show them that, or maybe she has even forgotten what she did. She didn't really put it to mind that, is that why should be, it's been long now.
Meanwhile, the other one is still
The other
holding it that
person is like,
one day you will cross my path.
yes, you crossed my path. And it's
And I will
possible,
show you.
yes, it's possible she's even the type that, because she said in like 20 minutes, she now came back and be like, hey, this is what you did to me. Over how many years, and then you
I
keep referring to
processed
them.
it. That was one of the
Yes,
moderators said that. But somebody said hello to you and you answered. And why will you come back after 30? That's who I am too. I will now look at it and say, why did I answer this person? No, I shouldn't answer this
yes,
person. I will now rehearse everything because if you look at Tiwa Savage very well, the way she was talking, it looks like she has already rehearsed what she's going to say one by one.
what's
So
cool
when she
about it?
started, when she started, it's a non-stop thing. She was just going on and on and on. So I will do the rehearsal of how I'm going to give it back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So people will come with their own how they want to resolve conflict. In the issue of, if you're in a relationship, know the temperament of your partner so that you don't go bringing the way you resolve conflict to that person. You relate to the person the way they like to resolve conflict. So if
Resolve
the person
conflict.
likes to avoid, we will avoid together. The day the conversation will come up, both of us will quit it. So because if
All
someone likes
right.
to avoid, and then if someone likes to avoid and then you are bringing it up like a choleric, competitive, and all of that, they just feel like you are.
The
I
light
can't.
sweeping matters under the carpets. Like, let it just die. Let the sleeping dog just lie. Don't wake it. Just leave it there. But choleric wants to talk about. Let's trash it. Let's
Yeah.
face it. I think that was what happened between the case of Sheisha and Tiwa Savage. Tiwa Savage is more choleric, and Sheisha is just maybe a sanguine. I know she's a sanguine. She's not a flag, because a flag are peaceful. They don't want wahala, because what she did was an intentional thing. I think she did
Yeah.
a song to diss the other person. And it was that one is not a mistake. Like, it's a calculated attempt. It's
Mm,
something you do deliberately to bring someone down. But even at that, she also thought, just like you said, using her own conflict style, she also thought within her mind that, what's the big deal there? I
it
did
has
there, I did
happened
there.
that
So yeah, she should have moved on. Meanwhile, the other person has not moved on. So you won't say because you are like this, you now judge it. If you know you've offended someone, you've done something bad to someone, you're supposed to deliberately initiate a conversation talking about that thing. Do not try to sweep it under the carpet. Yes, it might be your own style, but look at the other person that
yeah.
you have offended.
Look at the other
Look at
person's
that
style
person.
more than your
Yes, look
style.
at the person's style and temperament and say, oh, will this person have also swept this thing under the carpet, or we should talk about it? So I think we've said a lot. We've
Yeah.
actually said a lot about all those things. And I want to say a very big thank you for coming. So I would just want to round up everything that we have been saying, because I think we've used 2 minutes more than our time. So the long and short of it is that as individuals, number one, be self-aware, understand who you are, understand your personality, your temperament, your conflict resolution style, everything about you. Understand it, your strengths, your weaknesses, your triggers. Understand it. When you understand it, it will be easy for you to understand that of other people. That's number one. Number two is that you need to understand that there are so many events that has unfolded in your life that is sitting pretty in your subconscious mind, and you need to deal with it. So if someone say you are doing this, or people are constantly complaining about something about you, you need to check. Don't just say, hey, that's it, that's what they are saying, I don't care what people say about me. No. In as much as you will not allow it to sink you still need to give it like a thought, like, okay, sincerely, if one person, second person, third person, fifth, sixth are saying the same thing, then that means there's a problem. So you need to also carefully look at yourself and say, what exactly is the problem? Trace it to the roots. Maybe
Yeah.
it's from a childhood trauma that you suffered. Maybe it's from a betrayal. Maybe it's from a molestation. Maybe it's from everything that has happened in your past that your subconscious mind has picked unconsciously. You need to get to the roots of it and, be able to deal with it. And that is why we have counselors like this. That is why we have psychologists like, don't allow your past, you know, overshadow your true color. Don't
From your
allow your
conflict.
past. Yes, don't allow the things you've gone through in the past. Don't allow your life. And that's why you see a lot of single mothers. If you're a single mother and you are not really intentional, you will be in a mess, because
Mm,
you will transfer aggression on the children. You are still carrying bitterness up and down. You are
or
not healed. You are still carrying aggression. You're still carrying hatred. You're still carrying a lot of baggages, which, if you are not careful, it will even affect your children that you're raising. You understand? So you need to understand that there is a problem. There should be a point of acceptance, accepting that there is actually a problem, and get help. Seek for help. Don't say, this is the way I am. This is who I am. Take me for who I am. Nobody wants to take nonsense at this time. Okay?
Yes.
Nobody wants to take rubbish. Whether from your romantic relationship or your platonic relationship, nobody is ready to take any nonsense. You should be able to deal with whatever it is haunting you. Whatever it is eating you up. Be able to deal with it. So Omotola is a psychologist, and just like I read in her bio, she has been practicing for the past 7 years. So if you have any issue, any long-standing issue that you've not been able to resolve within yourself, we are not even talking about conflict with other people. We're talking about conflict within yourself. You know, if you have any problem or anything you want to resolve, you've gone through a lot in life and that's remolded you and made you a bad person. You know, people are not scared of you. People don't want to talk to you again. Or you have some bad habits or bad attitude that people have been complaining about over the years. This is a very good opportunity. She counsels people online. You don't need to see her physically before she attends to you. Online, you can book a session with her and she will take you through all the therapy and you will get better. So if you also want to engage her offline, you can engage her offline. Then if you want her to come to your organization, to your office, to your business place to come and deliver a training on mental wellness, emotional wellness, she is your best bet. She is a qualified psychologist and she is certified. She knows her onions and she knows what she's doing. So it's on this note, we are going to be wrapping it. Thank you so much. Omotola, thank you
Thank
very
you
much for
so much,
joining
Nina,
me.
for the opportunity. I am really grateful.
So
Thank
I
you for
look
your
forward to having more chit chat session with you because there's actually so many things I would love us to talk about. I have so many other things I would have loved to raise, but time will not permit us. I don't like when live videos get too long because of people who are going to be watching the replay. So we want to say a very big thank you to all of you that joined us. Jeremiah Oluwatosin, Aweji Oniro, Amen Mercy, Medina Toyedele, Blessing, Izoshuku,
thank you,
Aye,
everyone.
Folake, people, Adenike, Akiogbe, Clara, who else? Ngozi, Chika, Mutunrayo, Ezekiel, Uju, Anna King, Waya Condiz. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. Oh. Gift, Joseph, Atitebi Sunday. Thank you everyone for joining us. Progress, Emmanuel Olufemi, Tochi Praise, Modesta Okeke, Destiny Tega, Madam Ofonimi Basi. Who else? Who else? Who else? Olatunji Fetayo. If I'm not mentioning your name, it's because you did not drop a comment, and that's why we always love that you drop a comment so that we can call you and say thank you to you. Akinwu Mitimileyin, thank you for joining us. Jemoga, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Uluwadam Lola Abe, you're just okay. She has joined before now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Samantha
everyone.
Lazarus. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I want to believe you all had a good time with us on today's show. So please help me say thank you, thank you. Drop some thank you to our guest so that she will feel appreciated and she will know we really appreciate our presence on today's show. So just drop thank you. If you're watching the replay, drop thank you for my guest. And if you're watching it live, please do well to also drop thank you. I'm not seeing comments. I want to believe it's the network or something. So probably after the session, we will see the comments. So this is a good time to say, okay, Oluwatosin is saying thank you very much, Oluwatosin, for that. Thank you, everyone. So I will see you some other time by the grace of God, Omufala. Thank you
Most
for doing this together with me, and God
thank
bless you. Do have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Bye.